Hello, I'm XSoyCat and welcome back to the video. Today we're talking about console Minecraft, because the game recently transitioned from being just console Minecraft into being Minecraft Console Edition and Minecraft on consoles. That's a very confusing kind of name sounding thing, and there's a lot of confusing things about the transition, but most people have accepted that yeah, it's happening, and there's a lot of things we don't know, but that's just kind of that. And I really feel like there's a lot of things we don't know, but in today's video I want to focus on the 10 biggest things we still don't know about Minecraft console, so that either, you can get it all out there as to like, oh yeah, that's why this is that, or that, maybe I can give my own theories on why these things are, but I figured why not at least put the 10 questions out there so that all of you can understand them and understand why there's some big confusion still. So like this if you like it, because it helps out the channel, and let's know you do enjoy seeing the big kind of question videos like this one. But let's get straight into the very first thing we still don't know about Minecraft console, and that's to do with 4J. So 4J Studios, if you don't know, they make Minecraft Console Edition. They make the game that we know and we've been playing for the past 5 years, or less than that, but as long as you've been playing Minecraft console, they make the Console Edition, and they still do make 5 of the 7 editions of the game. However, we do know that they're also going to be working on the Bedrock version. They're going to be another one of the studios making that game better, and that's really exciting. However, we still don't know for certain, because there is lots of teams within Minecraft. There's art team and there's a coding team, but there's also teams which work on minigames, and there's teams which work on updates. So is the 4J minigame focus going to be focused on the new version of Minecraft, Minecraft for Xbox and Minecraft for Switch, or are they focused on the old version? Are they focused on the 360, the PS3, the Wii U, etc.? Because, again, although we know at some point they're transitioning over and they're going to be working more on the new version, they're going to be working on the old version for quite some time, but what about the minigame team? Because a lot of people really love the minigame concept. I love battle minigames more than I like survival minigames on PC servers, and a lot more than I like survival games on PE servers, and I figure because of that, it'd be really good for people like me, because there's a lot of people who love these minigames too, to know, one, what about, future minigames? Will they release on just the old version, or will they eventually come to the new version in some server form or something? And two, is there any plan to get, battle minigame, to get tumble, to get glide in the far future? Like, is it even something that's been spoken about? Because we've heard Roger Carpenter say, like, oh yeah, well that would be a really fun idea, but is that something that is even being seriously considered, or is it just a fantasy dream, and is 4J definitely working on the old console version? I feel like it'd be useful to know, because then we need to know, should we still play the old console edition, or should we just play the new one? Again, I feel like this is an important thing to know, and I feel like it's an important thing for them to get out there, because the 4J minigames are some of the best done minigames, because they're by, a first-party Minecraft studio. So, with that said, let's talk about the second question that we still do have, which is really to do with, I guess, the new version of Minecraft, again, on the Xbox and on the Switch, because is the goal for this version to 100% match the old version, as far as, like, everything that can be matched, stuff like redstone? Of course they can't ever get 100% perfect one-to-one, but is the goal to match everything about it that we did like? A lot of people love the old crafting system, myself in particular, like being able to just instantly be like, oh yeah, I can say to this day, like, if you want to craft some wool, you just press X, you go left a tab, you go left you go right a couple of spots, and then you found yourself the wool. And if you want to find minecarts, you press LB like 3 times, or you press RB like 4 times. Being able to know where all of these things are found is just really useful, and there's muscle memory to just instantly do a lot of stuff. And, will that ever come back, or should we get used to the new system? Is the goal to really bring all the features back, stuff like, because we've said amplified and custom flats, but there's a lot of features where we don't know. 3D items, are they planned on the new version, or are they not planned? I feel like that'd be really useful. Is the goal for us to have everything we want besides, like, the impossible stuff like redstone? Because if that is the case, then that's a lot more exciting than knowing that some of the features are gone now, and they're probably gone forever. It'd just be useful to know, and that's something we still don't know for certain. So yeah, that's the second big question I do have to ask. The third big question that I have to ask is, like, will the Xbox Bedrock end up different to the Windows 10 Bedrock in more significant ways than it is right now? So when they first launched it, it was just Windows 10 but on Xbox, and they've customized, version changes a lot since then to make changes only to the Xbox edition. And if that's the case, as in the Xbox version of the Windows 10 version, if that is going to be the case, then will eventually the versions get more, far apart, or they get closer together? Because if they're going to be further apart, then it's kind of confusing that it's better together in a way. I mean, it works, but it's interesting. And if it's going to get further apart, then can we get the stuff that we all want? I would say even redstone changes, but that's not, my biggest bugbear. But I think stuff like, could we get the crafting changes? Could we get everything about the old version we did like? Because if it's going to be running on the same engine and crossplay is still going to be working, I don't see why we can't have the old controls, or have the old crafting, or have the old anything like that. So yeah, is the goal for the Xbox Bedrock to be very different to Windows 10? Kind of like how PE is different to the Windows 10, and, PE is different to this version, or that version, or the Apple TV version. Is that the sort of thing that we're going to be seeing in the future? Because there's already some changes about controls, and there's already going to be more control changes in the future that just make me wonder if that's the goal or not. And if, it'd be really curious to see, like, are we going to be trying to get the same game essentially on every platform, so it's exactly the same, or do you want to keep on customizing stuff? So if you play with a controller on Windows 10, it's going to be different to playing on a playing on an Xbox. And yeah, I'd really love to see what their kind of plan was of that, because we don't really know right now. It's kind of a shock every time something happens, and knowing the big visions there would be quite useful. So The next big question would be about the Switch edition. This one's really simple, but we don't know much about the Switch at all right now. We know it's releasing sometime in the future, but will the Switch edition run better in docked mode? What will the performance be like? What would it be like compared to the Xbox One? Will it be able to run the super duper graphics well? What are the options going to be like? Is it going to be exactly the same? I'd love to know all these things about the Switch, because it's really important that, like, oh yeah, if you're replacing the Switch Minecraft, which is portable Minecraft, it's important that it gets at least an improvement in some way, because on the Switch edition, it runs at about 6 chunks on the go, because it downclocks the CPU massively. If that goes to 6 chunks on the new version, that's presumably going to go down in the future, then eventually we could see a Minecraft Switch edition, which is going at like 5 chunks, then 4 chunks, then if you want consistent performance, you run it 2, and that'd be kind of ridiculous. So I'd really love to know, will they be able to, fix the docking issue, which occurred with the old Minecraft thing, but also, at first anyway, will they also be able to make sure that the new version will have consistent, like, performance updates, and that it will be able to run the super duper graphics pack, because those are the important things that people care about. Those are the things that, aren't really being addressed about the Switch, other than, like, right now what we hear is, like, it's coming sometime in the future, and personally, I'd really love to know more about that. So the next question I have here is one that, I mean, like, it kind of makes some sense on the surface, but it's never really been properly explained. I'd love to hear a Minecraft developer come out and explain this in some way, or, here's some proper explanation for it, but the render distance in Minecraft Xbox One is by default set to 18 or 20, I believe, but it goes up to 22 max, and you have the ability to change it all the way from, like, 12 to 22, but it really feels like the values in between, and, the max and minimum values are a little bit arbitrary, because, first of all, at 22, sometimes the game is running at 60 FPS, probably more than 60, and it has the, spare capability, which means, and sometimes when you're running at 12, the game's lagging like crazy anyway. So it raises the question, why do we have a minimum and a maximum render distance? If both of them aren't really, making the game run perfectly anyway, why can't we have more, like, kind of maneuverability in there? Why is the max render distance 22? If the performance isn't guaranteed, why can't we have higher, and then, like, either have a warning, or just realize that, yeah, if we set the render distance to 40, the game's not going to run great all the time? Because personally, I'd really love to have, like, some shots done with, like, 40, render distance, or, like, do some Seed Sunday stuff where there's not much going on with, like, a 30 or a 40 render distance, because I really love the view you can get with that, and I feel like, given that performance isn't guaranteed, why not just, at least give us the option to enable that with advanced settings, whereas right now, there's just kind of an arbitrary thing. I'd love to hear the reasoning behind why there's some random values there, because they're advanced video settings anyway. Why can't we have more than 22, and why can't we have less than, like, I think it's 8 for that matter? I'd love to hear some proper official explanation, because it seems a bit bizarre that there's just arbitrary maximum and minimum values that other platforms don't necessarily have. So, with that said, my next question really is about the old version, in particular the 360, the PS3, the PS4, etc. Will those versions have updates deliberately held back in any way? Because, right now, we understand that at some point the 360 will stop being supported. We understand at some point the PS3 will stop being supported, and we understand at some point they'll be financially unviable for 40 years to update. I don't know when that point will be, but it's many years down the road. But will there be a point before that where there's going to be some deliberately holding back the updates? I mean, again, this sounds like a sinister overtone thing, but I imagine the answer is no, but we don't know for sure if that's the case. No one's come out and just said, oh yeah, so we're going to let those platforms be updated for as long as it makes sense for both 4J and the platform holder. We're not going to have anything to do with it. They haven't said anything directly like that, and I think that'll be a really reassuring thing, because some people still play their 360s, still just care about title update 58 or 59 or 60. That's all they care about in the world right now, and they're just wondering, like, how much longer can we get updates for? Those people would be much more on board with the changes and on board with the idea that, like, oh yeah, well, there's new updates for the other versions again, but that's just a whole new thing. If they could hear that there would definitely be no deliberately holding back, or no even, like, kind of trickle feeding of the content, because right now there's about, or before the update, there was about 4 updates a year, 5 updates a year, 6 updates a year of, like, major content, and maybe, like, after, after this thing, it might go down a little bit. So I'd love to know if there's any, like, kind of changes there, if there's any Microsoft official position. We don't know for certain right now, and I think it'd be easy for them to come out and actually say something like that, so maybe we'll know that in the future, but for now, we don't know anything. So the next easy question is one to do with the fact that the Minecraft store, and at least the Minecraft Xbox, contains lots of things that you can't really, you have to pay for things that you can't get otherwise, and the idea is that on the Windows 10, on PE, it's meant to just be a way to save some time, whereas on the Xbox, it's the only way to get stuff, except officially, they're trying to make a way to get custom skins, so you don't have to pay for skins if you don't want to. They're trying to make a way to get MC Worlds. In fact, right now, I think you can use a memory stick and do that. You can get most of the things that currently you have to pay for if you want to get them for free by using the MC World format. So I'd love to know if there's going to be some way to get free shaders, or if the only way to get shaders is with this super duper graphics pack and anything available through the store. Again, we don't know for certain. A lot of people will be way more reassured that you can do it, because realistically, most people will just pay. I know that's, like, how their business model works, and it's a good business model because it means they're paying for convenience, but you can still get it for free if you want to, like you could before. So, however, for that to work, you need to, really get the announcements out there. When super duper graphics is coming out, will there be a free alternative for people people who, want to go through these steps of getting the file on their PC, transferring it on memory stick, or will there be no way at all? Just, again, we don't know for certain. I'd love to know if there is a way, because it'd make me feel a lot better about the whole thing. Next up, we've got some questions about servers, actually, because I want to know if Minecraft servers are, like, official, Minecraft products. Like, are they, like, is everything on the server, like, coming down to Microsoft in the end, or is it the responsibility of the server? Like, can a server be removed if they mess up? Like, is there conditions for that? If Lifeboat hadn't improved their stuff, would that eventually have had them removed from Minecraft's program? I want to know the, answers to these questions, because I know that currently they only deal with, if you don't know, they only deal with businesses, they only deal with a strict contract, they take some small cut, and they make sure that they do a bunch of obligations. I want to know, though, is there a lot, how big these obligations are, and if a server is really basically like an extension of Microsoft, or if you want them to be separate or not. We don't know for certain, and I feel like it'd be useful to know, like, could they be removed if they messed up bad enough, or is it the sort of thing where they're once they're there forever, because we just don't know right now. Next up is actually a question about Realms, because right now Realms allows up to 10 people in a world, which is an improvement on the 8 we had before on Xbox One and on Switch, but it's like 2 players improvement, and we can actually get 30 players in a private world, which means that if you want to have anywhere between 11 and 30 players, the best way to do it is with a private world. If you want anywhere above 11 players and you don't want to do it on your private world, or you want anywhere above 30 players, there's no way to do that on the console, at least right now. Is there going to be like some Realm solution for that? Maybe it'd have to cost more, or is there going to be some solution? Because on the PC or on the Windows 10 or on the PE version, you can just get a private server. It will cost you some money, but you can rent a server with 50 people and you can have 50-person survival. Say you want to do a SMP with a bunch of people, you can do something like that with a server, but right now that's not possible, and we don't know if there's any plan for that, or if there is just like a intentional gap in the thing. I'd love to know if there's any official plans for like 11 plus players on Realms, or for some form of private server system, or indeed just for like having a better way to have more players in the game. I'd love to hear, because bigger multiplayer is something that could win a lot of people over, but we just don't really know, bigger multiplayer beyond 10 players, we just don't hear too much about. So finally, there's one big question that I do want to ask, and that is, this is like just one, I feel like it's not one you get out of a company, so I don't expect to hear back on this one, but it is about the Xbox One launch, because I feel like the Xbox One launch as in Minecraft Xbox One, Minecraft on the Xbox One, not Minecraft Xbox One Edition, big confusion about the titles of these games, but Minecraft that launched on the Xbox One recently, I feel like that launched as a beta. I feel like most people feel like that launched as a beta. It was filled with bugs to this day. It still has a bunch of bugs, and I feel like, it crashes consoles consistently, all this sort of stuff. I feel like if this was any other game, it wouldn't be able to launch, so I'd just like to know officially, again, we never will, I don't think, but was Minecraft Xbox One unfinished when it launched? Did they have to launch it because of a deadline? Could they not have delayed it in some way? And is there going to be some, like, easy, because they'd have to come out and, I guess, apologize in some way, be like, we're sorry about this, but we'll make it better in this way, because I feel like everyone's pretending like, yep, this is 100% done, but I don't think this is done by anyone's standards. I don't think this would have passed Microsoft's own, vetting standards for a game, and I'm really, like, they wouldn't have launched on a disc, right? I'd love to just hear them say, this was done, we'd be fine releasing this on a disc, it's an entirely done version of Minecraft, or is it the other case where, like, yeah, we had to do it early, we're sorry about that, but now the game's getting better. Like, again, this is more like it's kind of like a curiosity thing, but it kind of just is like, it'd be nice to know if that was not a lie, but like a kind of exaggeration or not. But again, those are 10 questions. We still don't know about Minecraft. Maybe we'll never know the answers, but if we do know the answers to all 10 of those questions, I'd love to make another video and update all of you, because my job here, again, a lot of people feel like some people just think like I complain all day because something views maybe, but no, it does actually make me suffer as a channel. A lot of people unsubscribe and decide, I don't like negativity, I only want to hear the most positive stuff in the world. But no, the truth is, I make these videos because I care about the game, and I want everyone to be on the same level of, like, feeling positive about the future. And when a lot of these questions aren't answered, I don't necessarily feel as positive about the future as I could do, and I know that's the same for a lot of you, and that's why I make these videos, that's why I go through this, that's why I'll lose like 200, 300 subscribers on this video, some decent number like that, and that's why I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did like it, just remember, you can like the video and let me know, you can share it if you really liked it, and you can subscribe if you're around here. Again, there's a chance someone sees this in response to this. I feel like more realistically we'll see some, like, at some point some of these questions will be answered by coincidence in the next, like, while or so, but I'd really love to hear, I'd love to hear and have updates for you all about these questions and about the game that I love so much. I've been playing for these years, that I know a lot of you love and been playing for either a year or 2 years, or some of you even going all the way back to the 360 days, and I feel like, that's just why I wanted to mention these things, and hopefully you all enjoyed it. So thank you very much for watching, and I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye.